Welcome to the opening day of the 2025 Credit Union 1 Missouri Valley Conference Women's Basketball Tournament on the Valley on ESPN. From Evans for our final day of the opening round. One spot in the quarterfinals is up for grabs, and you and I will have the opening possession in our final game of day one. The UNI Panthers, a senior-laden team. Emerson Green, one of those seniors, takes the first shot, and she has been playing with a sense of senior urgency. We see a lot. She's hitting another level here the last few weeks.
Well, she has, and you know, she had that injury a year ago. It took her a while to come back. It took her a while to let coach know that she was ready to become a starter, and she finally reached that point, and as you mentioned, has turned it on since.
There's a three from Bella Finnegan. Finnegan had 7 points and a career-high 10 rebounds against Murray State. Our starting lineups for today's game are powered by CenterPoint Energy. Energy for what matters most. You have McDermott, Green, Kaba Lauby, Riley Goebel, and Wettering. As you have 4 seniors in the starting 5, and then Riley Goebel, the junior, is on the Missouri Valley Conference all-defensive team. For the Indiana State Sycamores, you have Smith, Jones, Sechrist, Finnegan, and Savannah White, the junior, second-year Sycamore. Started her college career in the Big Ten, University of Wisconsin. The 6th in Indiana State single-season blocks of 48, and also in the top 10 for career blocks as well. Here's Sechrist around the left side from the baseline. Her first points of the game from the sophomore. And quickly to the other end, Shatia Wettering beats everybody back.
We saw the creative bucket by Sechrist on one end, but this UNI Panther team will beat you in transition, make or miss. They got to get back.
Deja Jones, senior, sets up the offense. Now Finnegan finds a way to score, and Finnegan and Sechrist with the first 2 baskets. Finnegan with 30 points against Southern Illinois, too. Hit 8 threes. It's the most by a Valley player this year. Wettering misses. Now Riley Goebel right back to the rim. She's one of the most efficient shooters because all of her shots are right around the rim.
They sure are, and she just has an incredible knack for finding the ball, getting deflections on the defensive end, offensive rebounds on the other end. Only player in UNI and Valley history to record 60 blocks and steals in the same season. She does it everywhere, number 5 in white.
She's stacking them up too, comes into the game. 68 blocks and 66 steals. Wettering, the lefty, goes to the left hand and draws the bump from Sechrist underneath. Well, let's take a look, Jackie, at your keys to the game, brought to you by Credit Union 1. Start with the Sycamores.
Well, Indiana State's got to hit some threes early. Now, already they put some up. They didn't make it, but it did open up a couple of buckets inside from their three-point shooters. If they're hitting threes, it means the defense has to stick a little closer, opens up those driving lanes, which they love. For UNI, a balanced attack. This team is extremely hard to guard. When the ball has life, they're moving it, they're sharing it, they're getting everyone involved. They have many players, Brad, that are capable of big individual nights, but they're at their best when they get a little bit from everyone.
Balance for UNI, extremely important. Discover better banking for all with Credit Union 1, the official deposit partner of the Missouri Valley Conference. Learn more at cu1.com.
Great feed inside here, and Savannah White just doing a great job of moving her feet, staying patient, and going up with strength.
Good at the free throw line. Davina Smith at the free throw line using that strength inside. Dermott for UNI. Back and forth we go here early on. A high-paced game. There's a shot from Smith, and There's the offensive rebound by Savannah White, and the putback draws another foul and trip to the free throw line. Well, in year number 1 for Indiana State, head coach Mark Mitchell. Former St. Peter's and University of Indy head coach. 2018 to 2024. Very excited about the future of this Indiana State program. He says this program is a sleeping giant. Says our facilities are fantastic. Our practice facility, Holman Center with the recent renovations over the last few years, loves the size of the institution. He's very excited for what he can build at Indiana State. In 2 years at University of Indianapolis. In year 2, Jackie, a 10-win improvement. Comes into Indiana State ready to go, and hired late too. Hired in late May. So really at that point, building a team is extremely tough. So he's making do with the kids ready to play this season for the Sycamores. It hasn't turned out in terms of wins as he or the players thought, but playing tough here in the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. And a timeout taken by UNI head coach Tanya Warren. So we will step aside. It is number 2 in overall wins as a Missouri Valley Conference coach. And it's courtesy some excellent point guards that she has had over the years. And Maya McDermott is the latest, a 5th-year senior with that basket. She is climbing the charts, and as you mentioned, a number of charts as well. There's a foul on the rebound as White goes up for the rebound, got undercut by Goebel, who get whistled for the foul.
I mean, Maya McDermott just makes winning plays, and I'm always so impressed when you watch her in person and you see those floaters. She makes it look so smooth and easy. It's one of the toughest shots in the game.
And I like that you can compliment her despite her passing records that have your name next to them as well. That may go down as a block for Riley Goebel. Looked like that was tipped. Taryn Wharton, junior guard in the game, kicks back to Elise Yeager. Yeager started 19 games this season, has come off the bench the last couple of weeks, but steps out and knocks in her 24th triple of the season.
Well, and that is her shot out of transition early in the game. Checks if she's feeling it. She has knocked that down game after game. As you mentioned, doesn't shoot a lot of threes, but very, very capable, especially in rhythm there.
The Jones misfire. Goebel gets called for a traveling violation. 5:05 to play. Goebel will get a breather. Shatia Wettering into the game. Wettering, a starter, another senior for this UNI Panther team, started her career at the University of Iowa. 22-23 was on the Hawkeyes team that was in the national championship game. Teammates with Caitlin Clark, and out of bounds, going to stay with Indiana State.
Well, this Panther team is just loaded with veteran experience, and it's why they have the ability to switch up defenses often. We saw a different possession there. They weren't able to get it going the other way, but their ability to switch defenses, even sometimes during live balls, typically on a make shot, but you can't do that if your team isn't all on the same page. And their veteran experience and their ability to know each other so well is what allows them to be so successful in that.
Not only communicating, but playing together so many years certainly helps to that. Here's Finnegan. Now Jones. Jones over McDermott, gets the bucket, tied at 13 here in the first quarter.
Nice bucket there by Jones. Top in the league in assists. Only player in the league with a triple-double on the season, but showing she can score it off the bounce.
It's remarkable no matter what. Wettering out to Wharton, fires the three. Taryn Wharton hits the three. She's made just 16 on the season coming in. Now Emerson Green comes up with the takeaway as Smith lost the handle. Now McDermott out to Wharton and shuffled her feet on the catch.
I mean, you just knock one down, Brad. Why not let the next one fly? Now, I know Taryn Wharton's game is that shot fake and get herself into the paint. She loves the pull-up jumper or getting to the rim. But when you knock one down, you got to let the next one fly.
Tavina Smith sets up the offense. You have 2 of 4 from three-point land. The Sycamores 0 for 3 to start from the outside. And losing it out of bounds. It'll be Panther basketball. White can't maintain possession.
It's just the little things, Brad, but something I love is noticing that play happened and all 4 other blue jerseys sprinted over to their teammate. It's like there was no question. The one that Bella Finnegan was a little bit behind picked her pace up, so that's culture right there. That's taking care of each other no matter what happens.
Wettering the drive and a foul called. White thought she added another block to her top 10 career mark. Mitchell asking for an explanation. White 6'2", but
she gets the body. So the block was clean with her hands, but her body contacted Shatia Wettering as she went up. That was the right call.
Free throw rolls off the rim. 3:34 to play. Wettering now with 5 points for UNI. It's team high honors and tops in the game thus far. Here is White, and White with the jumper. Robinson in the game for UNI. And over to Wharton. Wharton gets swatted by White. There's the block for Savannah White. For Indiana State, Sage Steele in wearing number 24 today. And now White banks it high off the glass.
What a play on one end with the block and then getting the 2 points on the other end. Good momentum for the Sycamores.
Sage Steele usually wears 13 for, or Stahl rather, Sage Stahl usually wears 13, wearing 24 today.
Great footwork here, just feels the defender, switches her feet to go around to her left for the bucket.
Wettering is firing again at the free throw line. Finnegan called with the foul, her first. Rebound to Stahl. Jones into the lane. Asia Jones averages just under 10 points per game. And here's a takeaway. Wettering on the run out. Will take it all the way, get the lay in, UNI in front. There's that UNI defense, something Coach Warren talked about. Have to take care of the ball, and then our defense has to command stops.
Command stops, and they're second in the league in steals per game, not necessarily because of crazy ball pressure, but just their ability to switch up defenses, which causes teams to second guess themselves and sort of hesitate, which allows them to shoot the gaps.
Substitutions, Emerson Green, Maya McDermott into the game for the UNI Panthers. And Robinson and Wharton check out. I see Tanya Warren talking to Taryn Wharton. What are the chances? She's telling her, you make a three and you're open. Shoot another one.
I'm going to go ahead and put money on the fact that that was 100% the feedback coming from Coach Warren.
It's so crafty. Getting downhill, can shoot the three. Emerson Green, one dribble jumper. Knocks it in. The Panthers up 4. Green with her first points of the game. And defending Finnegan. Finnegan no good. Averages 13 a game, and here's a foul on Stahl.
Well, Emerson Green's mid-range game is fantastic. Just takes 2 dribbles in rhythm to her left, right into her shot. They are happy to have her playing her best basketball in March.
Emerson Green from the free throw line again, no good. Fighting for the rebound is Goebel. Riley Goebel, the shot fake. Now the kick out and the steal. Kaylee Corbin's pass tipped and taken away. In transition, jumper won't fall for Sechrist. And this is going to be a foul on Kesslyn Sechrist.
Well, right now, Brad, the Panthers are doing a very good job of preventing the Sycamores from getting offensive rebounds. Indiana State is top in the league in offensive rebounds per game. Right now, it's the Panthers who are getting it done, giving themselves second chance opportunities.
That is 5 team fouls, so UNI steps up to the free throw line. Ava Laube, 5th-year senior, over 1,000 career points. She has recently climbed into UNI's three-point record books all the way to the top. Jackie, she passed you for #1 on the most three-pointers made in a career.
She sure did.
That's a good picture right there. Look at that old head shot.
Oh, wow. You know, big congratulations to Kava Laube. I had the chance to connect with her the game after that happened, and just so proud of her. I've been able to follow her career, and I know the amount of work that went in. That doesn't just happen. You know, she put in the time, stayed patient, kept working, improved her game by her ability to get inside and get to the rim as well, while continuing to perfect her shot from the outside.
She had a game back in November. She made 10 three-pointers in 1 game.
Let me just say this. I never did that, Brad. She deserves that record.
10 for 15. Final seconds of quarter #1 here. UNI working with a 6-point lead. Maya McDermott trying to get loose. Great defense from Queen Ruffin. Comes up with a stop. White throws it ahead to Finnegan. 5 on the clock for Indiana State. Finnegan guarded by Green. And Stahl does not get it off in time. Final Friday tomorrow. Getting started at 12 o'clock. Through our first quarter, Savannah White, 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. You also have Deja Jones and Kesslyn Sechrist with 4 points. For UNI, Shatia Wettering 7 points, and Maya McDermott with 4. Emerson Green launches the 3. Sammy Brar feeds it inside. Travel underneath.
Well, that was great help by Riley Goebel. Noticed her teammate Maya McDermott had the mismatch, wasn't going to be able to defend Stahl on her own, so showed the help and forced the turnover.
Goebel now will get a breather. Her and Kaylee Corbin check out for UNI. Lee Sager, the freshman, into the game. Maya McDermott shoots the 3 after the Jaeger screen. Ava Laube dribbles into a double team, and Shatia Wettering just about got it to fall as the defense divided after her pit stop. Here's Brar, now backs it out. Launches the deep 3, and Wettering the rebound. Green, runner good for 2. How about Emerson Green, just in attack mode lately?
She is, and I love the read there. She didn't hit the three the last possession, forced the close out hard, and just is taking what the defense is giving her. On the defensive end, they are in full face guard denial of Bella Finnegan. They do not want to let her get hot from outside.
Sage Stahl had to hop along the baseline, gets called for the travel, and it's a 9-0 run for the UNI Panthers. Queen Ruffin checks out. Deja Jones, Semi Brar, Sage Stahl on the floor with Savannah White and Bella Finnegan. White comes away with the takeaway. Coach Mitchell says we just have had a quarter almost each game where we just hit a stretch where we struggled to score. And right now the Panthers on that 8-0 run, 8-point lead. And McDermott adds to it, a 10-0 run. Coach Mitchell senses. Oh, Cameron Runner just go off.
Cameron Runner had 24 points. They did lose, so their season comes to an end, but what a spectacular freshman season for the freshman of the year in the league, Cameron Runner.
Great Southern Bank in the Valley, proud to recognize the V-League's NBC athletes and the player of the year with the Jackie Stiles Trophy. To Drake's Katie Dinabue, and Kayla Laube hits another three.
That all started because Shatia Wettering ran the floor hard, then made the right read to kick it out. Maya McDermott with the shot fake to find her wide open teammate. That is UNI playing with the ball that has life, moving it around, getting wide open shots.
Laube with her first three here in postseason. And Elise Yeager with the stuff. Jump ball is called as Smith tried to get that shot up, but let's take another look at that. Good ball movement.
Well, McDermott doing a great job of finding Wettering ahead, again created by how hard she ran the floor, and then McDermott just doing what she does, a total playmaker and having the ability to make the right reads at the right time and getting her teammate the ball exactly where they want it.
And that may not go down as fast break points because of the reset, but UNI a 9-0 lead in fast break points so far in this game. Sechrist getting a lot of defensive attention. Here's White against the one-on-one. It's called for the foul, and White picks up her second personal.
Well, and this is what UNI does well. They scout hard and they take away your first and second option. We're seeing the tremendous defense against Sechrist and Bella Finnegan. They are not letting her get open looks, so when Finnegan is shooting the ball, it's a little bit more rushed than normal.
And Wharton had a tap from behind, and it will stay UNI Panther basketball. .37 to play inside the Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. First year for the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament here in the Ford Center, and it'll be a great downtown. Wettering loses it out of bounds. Hotels are really close to the Ford Center, all downtown. We're maybe 3 blocks down the street. You saw UNI walking over there across the street from the Ford Center.
It's been fantastic, and not only that, but inside the Ford Center, the setup for the student-athlete experience. I mean, talk about making them feel special and different than the regular season games. They were welcomed by a police escort and then come into the tunnel with their game music, and it's all about them, and it's really special when you really prioritize the student-athlete experience. And the folks in Evansville have done an incredible job at that.
Really have. There's Finnegan stepping back to fire the three. Wettering goes up high to get the rebound. Now Emerson Green wants to go hard right at Smith. Gets her own rebound. Flips it to Yeager. Yeager with the shot off the glass and good. Got around Savannah White. The shot blocking extraordinaire for Indiana State. Oh, nice backdoor cut. The catch and finish by Sechrist.
Well, and what a great read to go back door there. When you're getting overplayed and the defense is taking you out of what you want to do, the best thing you can do is back cut. Great read, great finish by Sechrist.
Green, 6-foot jumper. UNI with a 15-point lead, and attacking is Jones, who draws the foul. That goes on Wharton. That's number 2.
Well, check out Sechrist here. Reads that the defense is flying at her. Makes that backdoor cut read for the easy finish. This is 2 possessions in a row now for Indiana State, putting the pressure on the Panther defense out of transition and having success.
So look at your scoring difference between the first quarter and the first 4.5 minutes of this second quarter. And you go from shooting 44% and drops to 14% in this quarter. UNI able to put together a solid run to create a little space here early on. Corbin, a junior, first-year Panther. Here is Green firing the 3, and White grabs a rebound. That's her 6th of the game. White draws a double team and a battle underneath for the rebound, and Sechrist wins that battle and then knocks in the jumper.
She just out-hustled and outplayed her defender in that moment. Sechrist is doing everything she can right now. The great separators are typically those effort plays and those hustle plays.
There's Corbin inside to Goebel. It's called for the travel. And you're seeing it right now from Indiana State, those hustle plays.
Well, and that's what you want to see when the ball's not going through the hoop. Sometimes it's easy to allow your energy to be dictated by that, but instead I've been impressed by the fact that when the shots aren't falling, they're increasing their effort. That's exactly what you want to do.
Sechrist guarded by Laube. And now White skips it out. Smith, the open look from the baseline. And Smith with 5 points.
And that time the ball hit both sides of the floor for Indiana State. Great ball movement.
4 different Sycamores with 4 points or more. And this foul goes on Kaylee Corbin for the illegal screen. That's her first personal.
Well, she just moves her feet a little bit here, displaces the defender, which is why she got called for the offensive foul.
Panthers led by 15 moments ago, a 5-0 run for Indiana State. Smith to Finnegan, and the long rebound tracked down by White. Another effort play won by Indiana State. Here's Jones, 146 assists on the season. Goebel with the takeaway. Adds a steal to her total this season.
You can definitely see the physicality starting to pick up as the game goes on.
Green on the drive, tried to dump it off to Goebel, and it was stuffed by Finnegan. And now Sechrist attacking, rebounded by Goebel. Jack, you're seeing defenders flying all over the floor, making it tough for both teams, aren't they?
They are. There's a lot of good three-point shooters out on the court as well. You know, there's only 4 teams in the league, Brad, who have multiple players on the same team that have hit 50 or more threes. 2 out of those 4 teams are the 2 in front of us.
Asia Jones was attacking. Nobody picked her up, but then just lost it. Now McDermott with the runner, and that's rebounded by Jones. Inside to White, out to Deja Jones to catch and shoot three. Tipped around, and now McDermott wants to run. 2 minutes to play here in the second quarter. McDermott gets it to Goebel, and White with the block and the takeaway.
And that is why White leads the league in block shots. She knows how to go straight up, avoid the foul contact, and get her hands on the ball.
42 blocks in Valley play alone. Had just 6 in the non-conference portion of the season. Yeager with the rebound, and then Finnegan called for the foul. That'll be her second personal foul. Jackie, how about this? Minute 40 left in the second quarter. Let's go back to your keys to the game.
Well,
they made threes.
For Indiana State, they weren't able to get any early threes going, and I think that's part of why it's been more difficult for them to have open drives to the lane. Now, credit UNI's defense. On the other side, UNI having a balanced attack. You look down at the score, and you see every player with 2, 3, 4, 6, 8 points. So they are getting it done using a lot of different players, which you look up at the scoreboard and they have the 14-point lead.
And those occasional nights they've got 2 kids scoring 20 or 25 points, and instead a balanced effort. Taryn Wharton, she has 3 points for UNI, and now 5 points for the Panther junior. On the left side, Deja Jones, the senior. Jones on her 4th school, but her 2nd year with Indiana State. Started her college career at UTSA in San Antonio. Yeager gets called for the foul on Savannah White.
Well, not only is Deja Jones one of the best passers in the league, the last 10 games, Brad, she's averaging over 7 assists a game.
Well, join us tomorrow when the Credit Union 1 NBC Women's Basketball Tournament shifts to quarterfinal Friday right here on the Valley on ESPN. 9th-seeded Bradley meets the co-MVC regular season champs and the #1 seed Murray State Racers right here at Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. Tip-off slated for noon Central Time on the Valley on ESPN. Scott Warman and Laura Leonard will kick the day off. 4 games coming up tomorrow, as this is our final game of day #1. Wettering working against Smith. Gets some help from McDermott. The jumper's off the mark, and Wettering and Yeager collide going for the rebound. Indiana State ball with 20 seconds left. Stay tuned for our halftime report, a presentation of State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. First half highlights and stats. We'll break it all down coming up. And 20.7.
Indiana State will take the rest of the clock here to make sure they don't give UNI another possession. Deja Jones on the other end, Brad. Great defense on Maya McDermott. Guarding those ball screens is tough. She attacks the rim here and gets it to fall, going left, but with the fancy right-handed finish.
McDermott from half court, off the rim. Just about got it to go right before halftime. But a 12-point ball game in favor of the 6th-seeded UNI.
Some extra space. If you can knock down 1 or 2, the defense closes out a little bit further, and all of a sudden those gaps are there, and you're finding yourself with a much easier ability to get to the rim.
UNI basketball as we begin the 3rd quarter. McDermott drawing the defensive attention. Now Wettering underneath. Off the glass, it will not fall, and a strong rebound grabbed underneath by White. Deja Jones with the basketball, leading scorer in the game with 9 points. Jones guarded by McDermott now. Gets it down low as Smith bumps into Wettering, gets her own rebound, and then draws the foul.
Well, there was 2 white defenders on Smith, so I didn't think it was the right read to go up with it. She had a teammate open. However, that extra effort play, she continues to go after it, gets herself the offensive rebound, and now a chance for 2 free throws.
Shatia Wettering whistled for the foul, her first. First free throw for Davina Smith, the junior out of Merrillville, Indiana. Was at IU East the last 2 seasons in NAIA program. It's 1 of 2 at the line. Here comes Wettering. Wettering goes right back to that left block. She is efficient down there, but coming up empty the last couple of trips, working against White. White makes it so tough down low.
She does. I mean, Wettering is good at finishing, but White making it so tough. Right now, both teams haven't quite settled in early in this second half. A couple of forced shots down low. Like you mentioned, she's capable of finishing, and both teams going up strong, but when you have White down there, as good of a shot blocker as she is, you might have to shot fake and just kick it back out. You got a lot of shooters around you.
Wettering gets fouled by Jones. That's Jones's first foul in this game. McDermott comes up to get it. Works off a screen. Now Green on the left side. Green drives, gets the bump and the bucket. Foul on Smith and Emerson Green into double figures with 10 points.
Well, this is just a weight room bucket right here. Absorbs the contact, able to use her strength through it for the 2+1.
And gets the bonus.
I think everyone forgot she made the shot.
That was an and one. Usually you get fouled, everybody yells and one. The ball doesn't always go in. Green shot did. Jones flies by Laube and gets the lay-in.
Crafty finish.
Asia Jones averages just under 10 points per game. She is at 11 here in the opening round of the conference tournament. Here's Wettering up off the glass. Good for 2. Shatia Wettering with 9 points.
You can tell that UNI has identified a mismatch in Sechrist trying to guard Shatia Wettering. They are going to her early and often to take advantage of that mismatch.
Wettering running the fast break for UNI. Faked the 3 but shuffled the feet as she went to drive. Indiana State gets it back.
UNI was able to score that last possession going inside to Wettering, but in general so far this quarter, there's still not a lot of that ball movement and player movement that we saw in the first half that led to some wide open buckets. A bit more of the players in white standing around. I imagine Coach Warren will address that at the next timeout.
Jones misses the lay-in. Saw sitting next to UNI head coach Tanya Warren, as White thought she had another block, but came down with the arms and gets whistled for the foul. Sitting next to head coach Tanya Warren, Deidre Johnson, the interim head coach for Indiana State at the end of last season. And White's going to exit. Let's see for White, that's foul number 3. See Coach Warren there to her left. Deidre Johnson.
Coach D, as they call her, brings so much energy and enthusiasm to everything she does.
She replaced Chad Killinger last season. It's been an Indiana State coaching carousel, if you will. Vicky Hall replacing Josh Keister, as well as Joey Wells. That's all since 2018. And Coach Mark Mitchell is hoping to bring some stability to this Sycamores program, as he's excited about the possibilities in Terre Haute. Here's Jones, senior guard, going to work. There's a look for 3 from Smith, and a rebound is out of bounds to UNI.
Smart defense here by the Panthers. Maya McDermott was guarding Sechrist. She felt she had the mismatch, but Riley Goebel's able to sit in the paint and show that help because the player she was defending was not a threat from outside.
Indiana State still looking for their first made three of the game. Stahl with the rebound after the Goebel miss, and here comes Finnegan. She's got that ability to knock in threes. Finnegan with 55 made triples on the season. Off the iron on that one. Finnegan 0 for 6 now from the outside. There's a three from the corner for Laube. And Green battling for the rebound. Swats it out of bounds. Well, it's a long wait to get to this 8:30 game, Jackie. You said as a player you would do anything to avoid this late game. Why is that?
I would, and I think everyone else would say the same thing. It's so tough as a player to wait around all day long. You just want to play, and there's not much else you can do. You've prepped. You might have a short shoot around, but it's only going to be 20 minutes, because all of the teams play in the same day, and there's not enough time to have your full hour shoot around. So when you think about it, these kids are used to playing at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., maybe 6 or 7 p.m., but nobody's used to playing at 8:30. By the way, for Indiana State, this is a 9:30 tip, so it just creates a really, really long day. Now, it's the same disadvantage for both teams in the sense of everybody sitting around and waiting, but you're just chomping at the bit, wanting to get out there.
Sit around, maybe you're logging in on your phone if you don't come to the arena. 3 games go before you get to go. As Stahl knocks it in, and it's a 14-point game with 6 minutes to play here in the third quarter. The winner plays at 8:30 tomorrow in the quarterfinals against the 3-seeded Belmont Bruins. And Kesslyn Sechrist called for the foul, and that is her third personal foul. Sechrist with 8 points on just 7 shots.
Well, and that's a credit to UNI Scout. They have decided they are not going to let him heat up. Meanwhile, Kava Laube continuing to do what she does from outside.
My attention was drawn to the UNI bench. Grace Buffelli hopped up off the bench like a shot when she let that fly. She knew her teammate was going to knock it in. And there's Sage Stahl breaking the ice from three-point land for Indiana State. They were 0 for 13 as a team until that basket. And now Jones on the move. Finnegan, jumper from the elbow's good.
One goes down, another start to feel good. Stahl had only made 1 3 on the season prior to that one, but gets it to fall, and now her teammate gets him another bucket for a run of their own. Taryn Wharton, though, with the answer.
She only attempted 6, did Stahl all season long. Why not? Conference tournament time, knock one in. Now Finnegan's getting it rolling here. Bella Finnegan, the junior, 6 points to keep pace with UNI. When you're down by double digits, Jackie, sometimes you hear coaches say, all right, just create a small milestone, right? Get it down to single digits by the end of the third quarter. Maybe get within 8 by the end of the third quarter.
You're absolutely right. You have to break up the game into smaller segments. A 12-point lead is one of those right in the middle where it could quickly go one way or the other. But right now, the Panthers up 12 halfway through the third.
Election, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Maya also named the first team All-MVC for the 2nd straight season for the Panthers.
Well, with that award, Brad, she shows her intelligence both on and off the court. On the court, one of my favorite parts about her is her ability to take over a game, but knowing when to do that and when to get her teammates involved, and that just really speaks to the way she thinks through the game.
And with a takeaway and the run out, Laube gets fouled on the layup attempt. McDermott, just such an instinctual gamer too, right? Just has a great feel on using screens, when to get her shot, when to dump it off.
And her ability to make difficult shots consistently. It's not just a once or twice a season she makes a shot that has you going, wow, like she does that time and time again. One of the most consistent in those high difficulty buckets.
I'll be at the free throw line this season, an 85% free throw shooter. She gets them both. Indiana State down 14. Here's Stahl working against the freshman. Out to Ruffin. And Ruffin just lost it out of bounds.
The Panthers were very connected on that possession defensively, communicating, knew when they were switching, knew when they were letting each other through the screens. Great possession there coming out of the dead ball.
Wharton in the game to run the point for UNI and gets fouled by Queen Ruffin. Sophomore out of Moreno Valley, California. Johnson C. Smith. College last season, 6 points per game. So to the free throw line goes Taryn Wharton, the junior out of Bellevue, Nebraska, with 7 points for UNI. Well, join us tomorrow when the Credit Union 1 NBC Women's Basketball Tournament moves to quarterfinal Friday right here on the Valley on ESPN. The 9th-seeded Bradley Braves battles co-MVC regular season champions and top-seeded Murray State. The Racers will be here at Ford Center in Evansville, Indiana. Tip-off slated for noon Central right here on the Valley on ESPN. Scott and Laura will get us rolling.
Chance to see the newcomer of the league, Soleil Barnes, against one of the best in the league, Caitlin Young. Got some exciting basketball ahead, Brad.
First team all Missouri Valley Conference pick Caitlin Young, also loaded on that second team for the Racers. Haven, Ford, Ava Learn, and Hallie Polk.
The big four.
You talk about a balanced team. Murray State extremely balanced. Long range shot from Sechrist.
Well, you kind of saw in her facial expression the frustration. That was halfway down before it rolled out.
I think that would have been the first Valley logo 3 of the tournament. Still with just 3 points, however. Number 3 to play here in the third. Maya McDermott with the basket. 8 points for McDermott. Fairly quiet for Maya McDermott terms. Here is the 3 from the corner for Ruffin, and Ruffin knocks in the second 3 for Indiana State in this third quarter. Wetter muscling up the 2 and draws the bump. And that goes on Sechrist, and for Sechrist, that's number 4.
That is execution of a game plan right there. Again, recognizing the mismatch. Shatia Wettering versus Sechrist, who had been in foul trouble. They knew that. Indiana State didn't have the help they needed to allow Sechrist to avoid that foul. And again, UNI doing what they came in from a scouting standpoint, which was attack those mismatches and get them in foul trouble.
And so Sechrist heads to the bench. Semi Brar back into the game. Sechrist, the leading scorer for Indiana State on the season at over 13.5 points per game. Goes to the bench with just 8. As Green gets called for the foul.
Now,
the free throws coming for Ruffin.
Sechrist is just a sophomore, though, Brad, and from freshman to sophomore year, what a jump she has made.
Yeah.
Was averaging only 4 points in under 10 minutes a game, and now leads her team in scoring this season. Just a tremendous jump from year 1 to year 2.
It's really the highlights for Indiana State this season. Coach Mark Mitchell says, we've had some great individual seasons. Sage Stahl, offensive glass, just finding another level. Sechrist, over 100 made threes this year. Savannah, Bella, Deja, he's like, just career years and really taking advantage of the opportunities that they're given to be a major playmaker on this team. And Shatia Wettering, she is going downhill on this offensive end.
She is, and as I've mentioned a couple of times, the game plan was she has the mismatch. And go inside, we saw them do that early in this second half, and she has done a great job today of reading the defense and getting herself to the line.
And Wettering went down with a knee injury and missed a game last weekend. Did not play at UIC, but was able to go at Valparaiso. And is looking strong and steady for this UNI basketball team. So 15-point lead now. Ruffin on the drive and taking the charge is Bree Robinson. Robinson, the sophomore, standing her ground on the defensive end. McDermott on the drive. The layup hangs on the rim, and it falls. McDermott into double figures for the Panthers. 10 points now for the senior and the first team all Missouri Valley Conference performer. Another three from Ruffin is good. Ruffin averages 4 a game and has 8 here for Indiana State. And a shove called on Sage Stahl.
Those are a couple big buckets by Queen Ruffin, giving her team the ability to keep this one within reach heading into the fourth quarter.
So to the free throw line goes Elise Yeager. Yeager on the Valley all-freshman team. Jackie, what do you like about this freshman out of West Des Moines, Iowa?
I love her ability as a big inside to hit from outside and make that three-point shot. It allows her to help stretch the floor, which makes it that much more difficult on the defense. And she has just proven that big games against big teams, that Iowa State win for the Panthers earlier this season, Yeager was huge in the first half, a few big triples, which was ended up being quite the difference maker in upsetting, at the time, one of the top 10 teams in the country. So just shows she's a gamer, even as a freshman, wasn't afraid of the big stage.
Hit 3 threes in that game, her first career double-double against a fantastic program in South Dakota. Robinson called for the foul, and the basket is good for Indiana State. Queen Ruffin turning it on offensively.
Well, she has been the spark. Hit a couple shots from outside. What does that do? Opens up driving lanes, and now she's at the free throw line for an and one opportunity.
This is the free throw. Rebound cleared by Wettering. For Ruffin, her season high 13 points is within arm's reach. She has 10 now for Indiana State.
Great recovery there by Robinson to prevent Finnegan from getting the three off.
Ruffin, nice dump off underneath, and Stahl. The degree of difficulty was high on that two-point shot. Back to a 12-point game. And about a 6-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. And here's Goebel inside. Quickly around Stahl. Push ahead to Smith, and now Ruffin's going to back it out, reset for the final shot. Down 14. Looking for another spark here at the end of the third quarter. Ruffin, shifty moves off the glass, and no good. Bodies hit the floor. We head to the fourth quarter. 6 right now. this the final quarter of our opening round day. UNI Panthers work with a 14-point lead. So underneath goes against UNI. Free throws coming for Indiana State.
Well, and if you are an Indiana State fan, you just took a deep breath because that was one of those block charge calls and would have been the 5th on Sechrist, but instead she goes to the line.
Yes, Lynn Sechrist, 8 points, given 9 now in this game. But one of 3 Sycamores in foul trouble. Sechrist with 4, and then you have Savannah White and Sage Stahl each with 3. Coach Sechrist is going to check out. Deja Jones comes in. A reminder for Sechrist, you're playing with 4.
Oh, and I like that substitution move because we have seen UNI attack Sechrist on the offensive end and go at her with Shatia Wettering. So a good substitution there, move by Coach Mitchell.
McDermott in trouble now, kicks it out. Laube an open look for 3. Off the iron, and White with the rebound. And here comes Jones. And that's a kick on the Panthers. UNI on the season 16 and 15, 11 and 9 in conference play. For Indiana State, 4 and 27. They're 2 and 18 in conference action. They're tied for 11th, but the 11th seed due to the net ranking tiebreaker. Here is Ruffin with the 3.
When you talk about the overall record for the Panthers, you can't not mention Grace Buffelli and what might have been had they had that 5th senior on the court, preseason first team all-conference kid, and a force inside. But even without her, they've still shown a lot of success.
And a timeout taken by UNI head coach Tanya Warren. We will step aside. 68-56 UNI all season. McDermott at the top, just under 19 points per game. 3rd most in the Missouri Valley Conference this season. McDermott with 10 here tonight.
They're just such a close-knit group, and the fact that they all came back for that 5th season just speaks to the culture that Coach Warren has built at UNI.
Emerson Green called for the foul as White able to draw the contact, and the whistle will go to the free throw line as Davina Smith comes back into the game for Sechrist. And it's almost, Jackie, we're at 8:47 already, but almost feels like Coach Mitchell's going to offensive to defensive substitution when he can, with Sechrist with 4 fouls.
You're exactly right, and it might feel a little strange with this much time left on the clock, but we have seen the Panthers go at her, and if she's going to be a defensive liability to close the gap in the score, you got to be able to get stops. So UNI's going to attack her. So it's a very smart move to try to get her in and out for the offense-defense substitutions.
Laube launches the 3, hits again. Kayla Laube with her 3rd triple of the game, give her 15 points.
One of the best shooters in the game. And she's been feeling it these last few games.
Ruffin gets fouled from behind as McDermott thought she had the block from behind. And Kayla Laube has been hanging in the top 10 in the country in terms of 3-point percentage and threes made per game.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, Brad, because it's one thing to make a lot of threes in a season, but that doesn't necessarily mean you shoot a good percentage.
Yeah.
You can make 63s on a season, but if you shoot 200 of them, you're not an efficient shooter. The fact that Kayla Laube owns the 3-point record at UNI, shooting at such an efficient clip is what makes it even more impressive.
Laube on the season making 46% of her threes.
Tremendous.
And if you didn't follow Jackie's math, 60 made threes on 200 shots, that's 30%.
Appreciate the
Which
assist
sounds,
on the math.
doesn't sound good, but really what Kayba Laube is doing, even more impressive. Also, she's learned to be a little crafty inside, too.
She has, and that's been the biggest jump in her game, is not just being a three-point threat, but being able to put the ball on the floor, get to the rim. It's made her that much more difficult to guard. She's always been a leader for this team, vocal communicator, but that was an enormous jump she made in her game, and it has really helped the Panthers this season.
Riley Goebel adds a block to her evening. And that's now 70 blocks on the season for Riley Goebel. And Kayba Laube takes the pass from McDermott and adds the lay-in. And now a 16-point lead for UNI. And Coach Mitchell, sensing it start to slip away, calls a timeout on the season. First Panther, first player in Valley history with 60 blocks and 60 steals in the same season.
Well, how about this, Brad? Give her 2 more steals. She'll be only the 19th player in NCAA Division I history to have 70 of each in one season.
70 blocks, 70 steals. Only done 18 other times. How about that? Wettering attacking Savannah White. That's been a fun battle to watch down low and inside. As we've seen Shatia Wettering take advantage of the mismatches, but even with the 6'2" Savannah White behind her, the shot blocking extraordinaire for the Sycamores, she's continued to go right at her. And now White does have 3 blocks on the evening. That's her single season total now at 51. Career blocks for Indiana State at 74.
And this is the 12th and 13th free throw for Shatia Wettering alone. So it just speaks to her aggressiveness at the rim.
Wettering 18 points and 7 rebounds for the UNI Panthers senior out of Montezuma, Iowa. The dive by Brar, and how about one more block? Just because we were talking about it, Goebel with another stuff.
Her wingspan, the length of her arms.
I was just about to go there. She's listed at 5'11". It's got to be close to a 7-foot wingspan, right?
It's got to be.
Offensive rebound, put back for Kesslyn Sechrist. Sechrist 12 points now. Brings the Sycamores back within 15 with 6.5 to play here in the fourth. And Wettering still in attack mode, goes right at Sechrist. And Wettering lost her footing. Jumper from Ruffin is good. And Ruffin with a new season high, 15 points for Queen Ruffin. Emerson Green on the attack. Green with 2 more. She'll go to the charity stripe, an opportunity to add 1 more. 13 points now for Emerson Green, the Cedar Falls, Iowa senior.
Well, Emerson Green is so strong in her ability to finish, just gets her shoulder by the defender. And again, I think I said a weight room bucket earlier today. She is just so strong in that guard position. Gets a lot of and one calls because of it.
Such a tough player, and her dad Kyle, an assistant coach with the Iowa State Cyclone men's basketball team. Her older brother AJ Green plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. He played in the Valley, played at UNI, and he won 2 Larry Bird Missouri Valley Conference Player of the Year trophies himself. The rebound to Goebel on the miss from Brar. McDermott launches the 3. Too strong over the backboard, and McDermott 0 for 3 from the outside today. Goebel gets a breather. Taryn Wharton into the game. Elise Yeager on the floor as well for UNI.
When we spoke about this earlier, McDermott, isn't at her season average. She's had 30-plus point games multiple times. When you look at what brings the Panthers success, we got to come back to the balanced scoring, and it's better to have multiple kids in double figures. Makes you so difficult to guard. We heard Coach Warren say earlier this week that when they share the ball, when they have multiple kids in double digits, they are so hard to guard. When it's just one or two of them, it's harder to win.
They have certainly spread it out tonight. The 4 seniors all in double figures, and McDermott the lowest of those scores at 10 points, led by Lauby's 19, Shatia Wettering with 18. There you see Coach Warren, the old point guard, played at Creighton, an Iowa native. It's in the Iowa Girls High School Athletic Hall of Fame. Fantastic point guard in Des Moines.
I had the luxury of getting to play for Coach Warren.
She's had some point guards come through, some pretty good ones too. I would include you on that list, Jackie.
Thank you, Brad. I appreciate it. Madison Weekly, Carly Rucker.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. For her working with point guards, like her being a former player, right? Doesn't that help her coach up point guards?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, she's been there, and as a point guard, for me to have been able to learn from a coach who played my position, who knows the game so incredibly well, it's not a coincidence why UNI has had so many successful point guards with her leading the way.
It's called for that foul as Jones goes to the free throw line. Also an interesting story too that was recycled by the Des Moines local media. A feature looking back on Tanya's history is Taryn Wharton with a basket. Her brother died in high school, in a high school basketball practice when she was younger, and she said it was tough to get back to basketball for a while, but just, you know, a lot of times still thinks about her brother who passed away playing the game that she loves and decided to kind of dedicate herself to her brother and the sport of basketball, and man, has that taken her a number of places.
You're exactly right. That never leaves her mind, helps her keep perspective and what's important in life. And again, that speaks to the culture and the program that she's built. It's not just about winning games, but being a good person and remembering the bigger things in life. And as you mentioned, she had those incidents happen in her life experience that has made her the person and the player and coach that she is today.
Okay, the Lauby fires the three after the Jaeger offensive rebound. UNI in front by 13 points. Indiana State just kind of hanging around, Jackie, coming up with stop after stop. And with 4 minutes to go, if they could get a few baskets in a row combined with a couple of stops, all of a sudden it'd be down to single digits. They're not out of it yet.
You're exactly right, and there's been several moments of this game where you sort of felt like UNI was running away with it, but you look up at the score, and Indiana State has not gone away, has kept it under 15 points. Queen Ruffin's been a huge part of keeping the gap within reach, but as you mentioned, if they're going to make a run, it's got to start with getting stops.
Taryn Wharton, the first non-senior for UNI to get into double figures. 11 points now for Wharton. And a jump ball called underneath. Smith and Green get tied up. Substitutions now for UNI. Ellie Foster, redshirt junior, comes into the game. Lauby, Green, and McDermott check out. Also Bree Robinson coming onto the floor with Kaylin James. Panther basketball, and Jackie, we talk about the seniors for UNI having a good game. The senior that can't play, Grace Buffelli, who's on the bench at the top of the screen. She got injured, played just 3 games this season. Got injured. She's always one of the first ones up cheering for her team, isn't she?
Yeah, I was just going to say that as she does it right there, she moved her seat down to sit next to the assistant coaches so that she could get that experience from the coaching lens. She has not stopped bringing her leadership, her energy, even though she can't play on the court. She's been a big part of what the UNI Panthers have done this season.
Coach Warren says the best part about having her up next to the coaches is her voice. She's like, now, I'd love to have her out there, don't get me wrong. But it was actually interesting. Shortly after the injury, the Panthers beat 8th-ranked Iowa State. And right before that game, she goes to Coach Warren and says, Coach, can I sit next to the coaches? I don't want to sit at the end of the bench. And she's been so engaged start to finish this season with playing just 3 games.
And how cool is that she initiated that? She made the ask. She did not put her head down, feel sorry for herself, which is very, very easy to do and would be okay. It was, you know, a very, very tough injury and disappointing for all of them. But boy, has she handled it so maturely and beautifully.
First team all-conference in 2023 and in 2024. She was the Valley preseason player of the year heading into that 2023-2024 season. Double-double machine. There you see Grace Buffelli out of Eldridge, Iowa, an elementary education major. She is going to be finish up her student teaching the second half of this semester, and then out into the real world. And imagine whatever school district lands Grace Buffelli, they'll be getting a phenomenal coach as well. And who knows, maybe she's getting the bug. Maybe she would consider coaching at the college ranks, but said she loves the littles and really loving the student teaching experience that she has. Really spoke highly of UNI's education program.
Well, and she'll be successful in whatever she does, wherever she goes, because of that work ethic.
2 minutes to play. James the kick out. Yeager steps back for the 3. And the rebound grabbed by Smith, who gets hit in the head. And the foul goes on James of UNI. We go back to the free throw line. As Seacrest checks back in, and Deja Jones, the senior, checks out for head coach Mark Mitchell. And Jones gets hugs and high fives as she goes down the bench.
Well, and as you mentioned, this wasn't the season for Indiana State, but quite some spectacular individual performances, and one for that senior right there, the only triple-double of the season for any Missouri Valley Conference player.
Yeah.
Special kid over there.
Played just 23 games a season ago, and all of a sudden playing every game, a starter all season long, averaging a career best 10 points per game, left it all out there on the floor. Maya Simpson unavailable for Indiana State today too with an injury. Just you see, Jones on the bench there.
Yeah, it's tough, you know. Seniors, I trust me, I understand and recognize the feeling of it being your last game, that last time you lace up your shoes and everything you've been through and played for. It's a tough moment.
Another turnover there by the UNI Panthers. Was a key for both teams. Limit turnovers. They really were emphasizing taking care of the ball. 13 turnovers for both teams. Tonight's game, Jack, it really feels like it comes down to UNI just shot the ball better than Indiana State did in this contest.
They did, and they got an early lead, and then it really just stayed there all throughout the game. You know, they had the 12-point lead, and both teams would make a little bit of a run here or there, but at the end of the day, it just sort of remained that way. Neither team necessarily, you know, basketball's a game of run, and sometimes you'll have these big runs. There was a 9-0 run, I know, in the first half that gave them the lead, but then from there it was just sort of back and forth, a little bit choppier of a game overall for both teams, but UNI found a way to get it done, and that is what it's all about at this point in the season, survive and advance.
Taryn Wharton with the basket, now 13 points for UNI. Be UNI basketball. As both of these teams, Jackie, came in. Indiana State had lost 8 straight. The UNI Panthers, they'd lost 4 of their last 7. Still considered just one of those teams that, there's 7 teams, maybe. Well, there's 8 teams once we get to quarterfinal Friday. I feel like all 8 have an opportunity to win the conference tournament and punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. And got 4 teams coming off a day today. They've been on the court. They've gotten a win. And they'll be ready to go against the top 4 seeds tomorrow.
Your UNI Panther team, very similar to Illinois State in the sense of that 5 and 16 playing in the buy-in game. But holy moly, there's a number of teams in this league that can make a run and win this thing.
All right, well, let's take a look at our players of the game. A presentation of State Farm, a proud partner of the Missouri Valley Conference. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Deja Jones and Kaba Laube leading their teams in scoring tonight. Laube with 3 threes, and for Jones, 7 of 16 shooting from the floor. Final seconds of this one as Ruffin will dribble this one out. Final seconds tick away. The UNI Panthers advance to the quarterfinals tomorrow to take on the 3rd seed.